on behalf of the Florida House of Representatives for his visit here today. And sir, it's my pleasure to invite you to join me.
Wait, I got it.
Thank you so much, Representative Susan Valdez, for that introduction. I feel privileged to stand before you today, and thank you for the invitation to participate in this spectacular event. I want to give a shout out tonight to Hillsborough County Democratic Chair Ione Thompson, as well as to Florida Democratic Party Chair Nikki Freed. Thank you both for your leadership. I also want to recognize my friend and former colleague, Congresswoman Kathy Castro. I told her, Mom, she's a class act in Congress, and you should feel proud of that representation. And last but not least, I thank Puerto Rico Democratic Party Chair Charlie Rodriguez, who is a key figure in promoting the values of our party on our island and fighting for equality here on the mainland as well. This Kennedy King Gala is a stepping stone in launching the election cycle, as well as in ensuring that we stay true to the ideals of equality and justice advanced by President Kennedy and Dr. King. I have to say that we Puerto Ricans always feel very much at home here in Florida, where over 1 million of our brothers and sisters live. And I am happy to be here to talk about everything that is happening in Puerto Rico and how our aspirations are quite relevant to the democratic agenda. As governor and proud Democrat, I must tell you that the American citizens of our island have received extraordinary support from the Biden-Harris administration. There is no doubt that when Puerto Rico is treated equally, we can shine and succeed as our fellow citizens in the States. That is why federal support has been so instrumental. And due to that support, and my administration's efforts and the hard work and resiliency of our people, Puerto Rico has turned the corner from crisis to possibilities, from recession to economic growth, from difficulties to progress. Puerto Rico has a new identity, the island of opportunity. We restructured our public debt, saved our public pension system, jump-started the previously delayed reconstruction of our infrastructure, and put progress-oriented policies in place that are already bearing fruit. This can be substantiated by the economic upswing being felt across all sectors in Puerto Rico. For the past 3 years, we've had economic growth at an average of 3% a year, and our planning board estimates that we will continue to enjoy positive growth for the next 10 years. All economic indicators are up. Our unemployment rate is the lowest in our history. And now we have 100,000 more jobs than we did when my term as governor began in 2021. Labor participation is up, the poverty level has decreased, and thanks to legislation promoted by the Biden-Harris administration and approved by Congress, we now offer a local robust earned income tax credit, and the federal government is now providing the child tax credit to over 250,000 households on the island. We're pushing an aggressive, multi-sectorial and multi-factorial economic development agenda, and we're working closely with the U.S. Department of Commerce in key areas like workforce development and technology. We are striving to become leaders in technology, training with our 21st Century Tech Force initiative to train 50,000 people for the digital jobs of the future. And we are implementing our Smart Island initiative to provide high-speed internet to everyone on the island within the next 5 years. Puerto Rico has received equal treatment in the Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act, which are helping us achieve our goals. We are receiving technical support from Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm and her team to advance our efforts to transform our energy system and increasingly generate the energy we need from renewable sources, including rooftop solar systems with batteries, solar farms, and microgrids. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona, of Puerto Rican descent, is supporting the decentralization efforts of our local Department of Education to ensure more community participation, remove bureaucratic hurdles, and achieve better academic results. And the assistance from the Biden administration has been even more critical in our recovery from the damages caused by Hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017, the earthquakes that we suffered in the south of the island in 2020, and Hurricane Fiona last year. FEMA and HUD removed onerous, discriminatory restrictions that were imposed on Puerto Rico in the previous administration. Consequently, since the beginning of my term, we have gone from 81 to over 2,000 permanent work projects completed. We now have over 2,800 projects in construction all across Puerto Rico just with FEMA funding, including 500 road and bridge improvements, 240 water and sewer system projects, 133 energy grid reconstruction projects, and with CDBG-DR funding, we have already rebuilt over 6,000 homes damaged by Hurricane Maria. As American citizens, we deserve this support so that every Puerto Rican can have equal access to the American dream. My friends, democracy is not democracy until everyone can vote. Having a seat at the table is at the very foundation of the American values of equality and justice that the Kennedy-King Gala reaffirms and upholds. Our forefathers understood that in order to build a truly representative democracy, every citizen should have a say in shaping the future of our great nation. That is because the power of the vote extends far beyond one individual. It is a collective force that shapes the trajectory of our nation and its people. When we vote, we participate in the grand experiment of self-governance, reinforcing the principles of social justice and equality so that our government remains of, by, and for the people. Throughout our nation's history, marginalized groups have fought for their right to vote, breaking down barriers that once denied them a voice in the democratic process. Yet, even today, we still face challenges in ensuring that all citizens have equal access to the ballot. Our Democratic Party champions the right to vote as a cornerstone upon which our nation's democratic ideals are built. And we have had to defend those rights against those who wanted to ignore the will of the people. And it is our duty as Democrats, as custodians of democracy, to address these issues and work towards a more equitable and inclusive system. Because the vote is a powerful tool in shaping policies that reflect our values and our priorities. In fact, Puerto Ricans, American citizens by birth, and fierce defenders of our democratic values in times of war and in peace, do not enjoy that right. We are denied that right by our territorial status, a status that is rejected by the majority of our citizens as undemocratic and un-American. In supporting the fight for equality for Puerto Rico, we not only address a long-standing injustice, we also reinforce the foundations of our democracy. Righting this wrong will serve as a reminder that democracy is not a static concept. It evolves and adapts to ensure that all voices are heard, regardless of geographic location or background. Democracy is not a spectator sport. It demands participation. And Puerto Ricans, like all Americans, should and must participate. In states like Florida, which has a significant Puerto Rican population, we have the potential to be a decisive voting bloc. Our votes could sway the results of state and national elections. Therefore, extending equality and voting rights to Puerto Ricans is not just a matter of justice. It is also a recognition of their potential to shape the political landscape of the United States. And by acknowledging the potential impact of Puerto Rican voters, we highlight the importance of making the democratic process more inclusive and representative of all American citizens. My friends, full equality for Puerto Rico can only be achieved through statehood. The majority of Puerto Ricans have voted several times in favor of statehood. And many Democratic leaders, including President Biden, former President Obama, and other congressional leaders support it as well. The National Democratic Party has been a long-standing champion of civil rights and an advocate for equality. It is not enough to favor self-determination. Democrats must stand for more. Democrats must lead. We all must stand for statehood for Puerto Rico. Our party, in line with its legacy in defense of civil rights, must stand by the Puerto Rican people in leading our fight for full democracy. We deserve a seat at the table. We have earned it, and we will not stop until we get it. As a lifelong Democrat, as a former non-voting member of Congress for Puerto Rico, co-chair of the DCCC, and national delegate of our party, and as governor of Puerto Rico, I will work every day to ensure that my constituents, the proud American citizens whom I serve, are finally granted the rights due to them. Thank you very much for your attention, and may we, as Democrats, continue to strive for a democracy that truly represents all Americans here and in Puerto Rico. God bless America, and God bless Puerto Rico.